I'll be using a specialty drop B tuning for this. Basically all I'm going to do is just try to simplify the B as much as we can here, make it as accessible as possible. So what we want to do is just take the low E, we're just going to drop that down to B, and you can check your tuning with that by hitting like the second fret on the A and just getting that same note there. You might have to make adjustments, you know, like maybe make a power chord shape with it and, you know, make sure everything sounds good there, because it'll definitely kind of, you know, mess with some other strings, all that stuff. So, you know, check the tuning that way, open and with a power chord, just to make sure it sounds good. And with that, we're just going to end up with the B for the low string, and then everything else we're going to keep the same, just to make it nice and simple here. So we'll have the A, D, G, B, E. So B, A, D, G, B, E. All right, and it works pretty dang well for that. So we'll start here with this main power chord progression here, and it just kicks off with a big, you know, open low B power chord. So with that, we have the open low B string, then we'll do the 2A, 4D, 4G. All right, and this is typo negative, so you're going to want to get plenty of gain on there, a little bit of chorus effect they always use, and then a little bit maybe delay, get some reverb on there, just nice drenched effects going on here. And with the strum, we just do like a big hit, kind of let it ring, and you want to be careful. You know, you give it a real big smash, it'll kind of, you'll hear that low B string kind of like sharp and then come back, so you got to be a little careful with the attack on that. But you'll hit it, give it a little hesitation, a couple more. Okay. And now we move to a G power chord, and with this tuning, we can get a cool kind of voicing of it where we come up to 8 on the B, and then we'll have a 10A, and then you'll just want to hit like the open D string. And if you hit an open G string with it, that's cool too. That's just another added octave there. It's kind of cool voicing because we're getting like the 5th as the open D, and then like the octave as what would look like a 5th in a regular tuning, so it's kind of cool. Alright, so with that, give it a hit, little hesitation, couple more, maybe one more. Alright, and now we're going to move to an E power chord, and with this one, it's you'll definitely get your low E and then the octave with it by just doing the power chord shape. So the 5 on the low B here and the 7 on the A string. Okay, we're just making octaves right there. And if you can get the stretch, then you can get the 5th in there with it and get, you know, the full power chord experience there. It's a little bit interesting because you're getting kind of a higher 5th than we usually would. But if you want to just, you know, if that stretch is too much for you, you don't really have to worry about it. You can just stick with the octaves, the low and the mid there. Sounds cool. But if you can get the stretch in there to get the 9 on the D with it, that just makes it even better. Alright, and it's that same type of strum, the hit, 1, 2, 1. Alright, and then for these kind of big power chord sections here, the endings, there's a little bit of a different ending. I think the first time it does a little thing, and then the second and third time are the same. But for this initial one, it's this kind of arpeggiation here, which is a little bit of a trick. So I'll give you a couple options with that. The best kind of ringing through option here would be to, you know, slide up to 5 on the A, and you'd have to use the pinky there. Or if you can stretch that way, you can do that, use the ring. It's up to you. But you slide 5A, hit the 4D, 2G, back to the 4D. Alright, and then we just walk down the bass note and go 4 on the A, 4D, 4G, 4D. You notice I kind of like flip-flop my ring and pinky there. Just, it's easier for me. If you can do that, that's cool too, but I kind of like to switch. Alright, and if that whole thing's like too much for you, then you can just kind of skip some of the ringing through and just do like an open D string, then go to the 4 on the D, back to the 4D. If you don't really care about having that D note ring through everything, so you can do that. All right, then hit your 4A, 4D, 2G, 4D. So a couple options for you there, ringing over type, or just kind of like the picking through type, up to you. So a couple options for that, but once we get to the lead section, you definitely want to like boost up like the gain a bit so you get some more sustain going. But we're gonna do actually kind of a lower voicing of it, and then it jumps to a higher one. So start here on the D string, we slide up to 7, then down to 4, hit it again, give it some vibrato. Alright, then A string, 2nd fret, slide to 4, slide to 5, 7, back down to 2. Give that some vibrato. Hold that for a moment, and then we slide up to 4 on the G. A little vibrato, a slow bend and release, off to 2. Something like that. Alright, and we'll go back to, I guess kind of like a, more just like a palm muted chugging section. And it's the same chords we've been using. We switch up the ending for just straight up power chords. So just do our same open B power chord, the open 2 and 4s. And with this, we're just, quarter note palm muted strumming, about 8 of them. Get to our G, the 8, 10 with the open. Alright, the E power chord, the 5, 7, optional 9 on the D there. Okay, and now we just do a power chord walk down instead of the picking. So we want a D power chord, so with this it's nice, it's just 3 on the low B, open A and D. And with this we split it, we go 4 strums, and then we want this D flat bass note and keep the same open A and D, so it's like a D power chord with the D flat over the top. So just take that 3, make it a 2 on the B, open A and D, 4 strums. So that's just all that's happening there. And eventually, like I said, when the next big power chord sections come in, everything stays the same, but we switch the ending. It's more of like a D, instead of picking through a D with a D flat over the D, it's a D sus2 with the D sus2, D flat over the top. So a little bit easier here, I think. So we just do, our same. Now we do open D, 2G, open high E to 2G. Alright, then we hit our 4A, 2G, open high E, 2G. So it's more just about like picking through some strings here. Okay, and I'm pretty sure that's the same way, the third time we go through the big progression goes. Other than that, there's a little bit of a faint kind of synthesizer sequenced thing that we can mimic, and I think sounds pretty cool. We're just doing palm muted B string here, and it's like 8th notes alternate picking, so just a couple 3s, couple open, couple 3s, couple 2s, couple 3s, couple open, couple 3s, and then just finish couple 2nd fret on the G. And you can kind of like play around with that and improvise on that a little bit, just as long as you kind of get like that same feel and pattern with those notes. Like you can kind of switch where like the opens and the 2s are, So you can play around with that. It's an option if you want to like try to mimic that section. Then we get a bridge, which is just 3 kind of chromatic descending power chords. It jumps up here to this 9, 11, all right, and then 13 on the D. So this would be, we had our G, so this would be like an A flat or G sharp power chord. So we got the 9, B, 11, A, and if you can get the stretch, get the 13 D, and we just hit it. All right, and then we do these big pick scrapes out. So just, take the edge of the pick, right on the strings, scrape them all down. All right. And then we just move chromatically down to our G now, that 8, 10 with the open. It's the same thing, hit it and then pick scrape out. And then we finish at the G flat here, or F sharp, the 7, 9, and then the optional 11 if you want. We hit that, pick scrape it, and then it just stays there and does like 2 pick scrapes. Okay, so interesting little bridge, just a chromatic thing. And then eventually we get the lead section, but it's up an octave. So with that, we move up to just hanging out on like the B and G string. So slide up to 10 on the B, down to 7 with some vibrato. And then G string we go 4, slide to 6, 7, 9, back down to 4. And then we do the bend at sliding up to 12B, bend it, release, off to 10. Okay, so another version of it, just an octave higher. And after you get all those sections down, you should be good to go.